Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN1227, and before I proceed any further, this is what appears to be a salvage title car. Not confirmed yet, but looking like it. So this is a 2016 1J7, which is atomic silver with LA30 red interior. So kind of the goldish silver with red interior at Copart here in Dallas at the end of June 2026, 90,000 miles. And it has a pretty hard hit on the passenger side. The insurance paid out $56,100.52. And so must have had a really good insurance company. So the market is very strong on these cars. So I'm not surprised to see a car with almost 100,000 miles still worth $56,000. Production statistics: 328 out of the 2,348 cars for the US 49 were atomic silver. 167 had LA30 red interior. So 7.07% of all of US 49 production was this color combo, like a 4 or 5 out of 10. So, fairly common. 2016, 199 out of the 1,418 cars were atomic silver, and exactly 100 had LA30 red interior. And there's several of them that have already gone the way of the dodo bird. They were used for the movie The Black Panther. They were this combo. They were the atomic silver with red. They were all 2016s, and all but one of them has been scrapped. So the in-service date on this car was August 31st of 2016. It was manufactured February 6th of 2016, and it has engine number 2065105 if it has the original engine. Has options D5, which is the door edge guards. So they're not the big things that go right here, but they go over, there we go, right there. They go on the edge of the door over there, and they are body colored. They're painted to match. So it has that. It has Mark Levinson, has orange calipers, and it has the option code Z2, which is the comfort and convenience package for the trunk mat, the cargo net, wheel locks, key gloves. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. Carfax shows this as a 2-owner, 3-damage event, and that's on top of this current accident. So it actually has 4. And they were in 2017, 2018, 2022, and 2026, but the 2026 one is not yet reported. Epic VIN shows us as a 2-owner, 2-accident car in 2017 and 2018, so the one in 2022 and 2026 is not on there. AutoCheck shows us as a 3-owner, no accident car for some reason. So it looks like this is like a 2 or 3 owner, 4 accident or damage event. Likely salvage title car, but we don't know just yet. Previous sales, not really relevant at this point anymore, but just very quickly, March of 2016, $87,500 in Texas. September of 2019, $53,500 with 17,000 miles in Texas. And December of 2024, no price listed in Texas with 83,000 miles. So in the last year and a half, it really hasn't been driven a whole lot. So now to the photos. So as I'll get to in the service history, this car was pretty rough even before the accident. And that's why I'm also very surprised to see a $56,000 insurance payout on it. Even before this, you can see on the opposite side of the damage, on the driver's side, the rocker panel, the front bumper, there's some damage there. It looks like some poor paint touch-ups. The front bumper has damage on the passenger side as well, not related from the accident, it doesn't look like. And then also, I'm not sure why or how this is happening, but in the photo of showing the odometer, you can see that the engine is cold and they're revving it at redline. It's limiting it to 5,000 RPM at the time, but somebody is redlining it as it is sitting here being cold and taking pictures, but it is 101 degrees Fahrenheit out, so it's like 38, 39 degrees. Obviously, the main damage here is on the passenger side, and a lot of the adjusters, you can see where they're drawing around the damage. That's what they were doing here. Most likely, the reason this car was totaled is because of 2 things. Number one is the rear quarter panel. That is the most expensive spot on this car to fix other than the front end with the grille and the headlights and things. Very expensive. The glass has to come out. The trunk has to get disassembled. There's a lot of labor involved just to replace that panel. And then also, of course, the B-pillars. That is a structural component of the car attached to the unibody, and this car, it's probably compromised. I'm looking at the roof very closely, and I can't tell from the photos that are provided if the roof is starting to buckle or not. That would tell me that this car is completely done. If you've got a buckled roof, just run away from it, or it's a parts car. So this car, it's hard to tell, but likely that's going to be the case. Like for me, I think this would probably be a parts car. Onto the interior, another surprise too is with an impact like that, the airbags didn't deploy. So what does that tell me? The car was either parked, or somehow it didn't hit the sensor. I'm really not sure. Or the airbags maybe they were disabled or something. I don't know. It's really odd that an impact like this didn't trigger the airbags. So like no tearing on the seats from the airbags or the headliner, anything like that. Pretty surprising. The interior, all the carbon fiber trim is delaminating because of course it is, so you have to factor that in. And then the only other thing I really noticed is it has really heavy corrosion on the battery. Not really a big thing, but something of note. So now into the price. I think this car will probably, based on historical data, this car will probably sell somewhere in the low to mid 20s, and the retail on it is going to be right around $30,000, $28,000 to $32,000 with this mileage. And so that kind of doesn't leave a lot of room for profit if you're one of these that's going to fix it and resell it. So if you fix it and go drive it, it's a lower cost of entry into GSF, but there's a lot of unknowns with the chassis, with the frame, maybe even did it compromise the rear subframe, anything like that. So there's a lot that you would have to look at if you're looking at this anything other than a parts car. On the plus side, the valuable parts, the grille, the headlights, the wheels, the brakes, the interior, it's all there and looks pretty decent. And then the rest of it is just stuff you can part out. So I think like money-wise, to part this car out seems to me that would make the most sense if you got it under $20,000. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. So now to the service history. It's fairly well dealer service too. The first entry of note is March of 2017, needs wheel repair, and they said Lexus does not offer wheel repairs or does not allow wheel repairs on this car. And I'm pretty sure they're talking about because it has, well, this car is not a great example, but the lip around the edge is machine finished. The rest of it's painted, and any competent wheel repair place can repair them properly, but you have to refinish the whole wheel. And so that's probably what they didn't want to do. November of 2017, the front bumper was noted as damaged by the valet, and they repainted it, and the customer was not happy with it, and so they ended up just replacing the entire bumper and then painting it. And so it has a new bumper on top of it. March of 2018, the JLB recall was done, so that's the high pressure fuel pumps. Most of these cars have that done. August of 2018, they got a quote to replace the front grille, and it was not replaced. I already know how that went. Hey, yeah, I've got a little damage to the front grille. Can you go ahead and give me a quote? Let me know how much it is. Yeah, it's gonna be like $13,000. Yeah, forget it. That's what a used Honda Civic cost. So anyway, on to June of 2019, front brake pads and rotors at 16,000 miles, so pretty early, but they were replaced there. 17,000 miles in October of 2019. Toyota inspected for retail, and they noted damage on Carfax, and they did some paint touch-ups, and they replaced the rear brakes there as well. So under 20,000 miles, this car already had brand new brakes all around. November of 2022, 64,000 miles. They did a firmware update for the navigation. That's where the unit either starts with a pink screen or it blacks out or freezes up. There was an update only on the 2016 cars. They found a piece of metal underneath the car on the right front, most likely from hitting something, and they quoted $671 for spark plugs to be done, and they declined it. So the spark plugs were not done at 60,000 or 64,000 miles. December of 2024, 83,000 miles. Park Place Lexus. So it was traded in, and they inspected it, and they found that it needs a new Lexus emblem. It does still need it. Needs 4 wheels refinished. Still needs that. Needs front pads and rotors. Needs a new subframe. That is pretty surprising. And it has dents on the driver's side. They noted that they need to repaint the driver's rear quarter panel, repaint the passenger A-pillar, repaint the front bumper, repaint the rear bumper, repaint the passenger side rocker, and they sent it to wholesale auction instead. And that's pretty typical of what you'd see. Park Place has pretty strict standards when it comes to what they're gonna sell. So it also needs, as noted here, it needs the 60,000 mile service. But as the adage goes, not all cars at auction are bad, but all bad cars go to auction. Not necessarily saying that this was a bad car, but it needed a ton of work put into it. And again, that's why I'm kind of surprised to see the car that in this condition still got paid out $56,000. So whoever owned this car, good for you. So what's not done? The Valley plate, the 60,000 mile service, and or the spark plugs, brakes, tons of paint work was needed even before this happened. The carbon fiber trim, it needs a lot, and that's why it was sent to auction. Somebody picked it up, hopefully got a deal on it, but it was rough. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? Only if it's cheap enough, which in this market, it's not going to be. It's gonna probably be in the mid-20s, mid to low 20s, crazy prices as we've seen, historically all year for 2026. It has been crazy high demand for these cars. They're getting, the low point for entry is around $40,000, even with higher miles. So this is where you can get in at like half price, but then you have to repair it if it's still able to go back on the road. But that note in 2024 that it needed a subframe, and now it may still need a subframe from the impact damage on the rear. I don't know if the subframe that they said it needed was the front or rear. Those pieces are about $1,000 and a whole lot of labor, assuming that the mounting points to the unibody are not damaged. So there's a lot to consider on this car. But for me, again, it would be a parts car. And that's where this car probably needs to be for the safety aspect of everything, unless you have a really good body man or the proper way to fix things. So that's what I've got for you guys. VIN 1227. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.